Oh wow, look at that. That's cool.
Fran, welcome to Brighton and Hove Albion. What are you feeling just now?
Really excited. The club has a lot of ambitions, and ones that, once I spoke to the club, it was a really nice feeling, and a nice feeling of being part of this project and being here, and the facilities are amazing. So being here makes me feel really excited and feel really valued in the building, and that was really important to me.
You must have had a lot of different options for this next stage in your career, but why specifically Brighton?
I think when I announced that I was leaving, obviously, the club that I've been at for such a long time in Chelsea, it was a decision for me in terms of finding a place that I felt that I could help and come in and kind of be a leader and try and help the team and be part of a project, and also just to feel valued. I think for me that was one of the biggest things. I wanted to feel valued by the club that I was going to and by the people involved. And when I spoke to Brighton, the attention to detail that they went to when they were presenting me with the presentation, I was like, okay, they've done their homework, they know what I'm about, they know what I can bring, and that's what I wanted to feel as a player. And that for me was probably one of the biggest decisions that I made in terms of how does this club make me feel and how does it see me being part of the furniture. And when I spoke to Brighton, and it's no disrespect to any other clubs that were in the conversation as well, but that was something that really lured me into coming here and why I wanted to be here.
Talking about that project and that vision, is that the thing that resonates with you most?
Yeah, I mean, I joined Chelsea when it was still a project, and it was really exciting to be a part of that. And for me, I think now with the point that I'm at as a player and as a person, I feel like I have a lot to give. And I said that, when people were asking me what's next, where are you going to go next, are you going to stay in the WSL? And I always said, I feel like I still have a lot more to give, whether that's, helping young players come through or still helping a team push to get results. And for me, that's where I see myself as a player. And when I heard about the project and the exciting players that were coming into the club and where the club's vision was in terms of all over the club, the owner, being so into women's football and wanting to make it, go to another level, for me, it was kind of a no-brainer in the end.
Your list of accolades speak for themselves. What are your main aims that you want to achieve here?
I mean, first and foremost, I want to win football games. That's who I am, that's who I've always been since I was 3 years old. I'm still competitive, and for me it's a case of doing everything every day to make sure that when it comes to the weekend you get the 3 points and you come away with it. And for me, being part of this club, I want to help the club achieve things, go further up in the table, try and push as hard as we can, and try and be involved in the trophy shouts and try and be involved in all of them kind of things. So for me, coming to a club, it's because I can see the vision and I can see that it's building into something, and that's what excites me. It excites me to be part of something where I'm like, I think if everyone gives everything every day to win, then the players and the people that we have around, then there's a good chance of that. So yeah, for me, first and foremost, it's to win, and then it's to help.
You can feel that winning mentality that you possess. Is that something that you're aiming to take into that and instill in the young players, but every member of that team?
They're going to hate me. They're going to hate me. They're going to hate me in training. They're going to hate me in games. But for me, I like to drive standards, because I expect them from myself. I would never expect someone to do something that I don't do myself. So I'm probably more critical on myself than I am of everyone else in the team, and the team will see that. If I make a mistake where I feel like I should have been good enough, I will give myself a hard time, never mind, demanding that from others. So that's the kind of level that I bring for myself. So I always try and, whether it's in the good way or a bad way, I always try and pull everyone else along with me and demand them standards and drive them standards. And for me, it's regardless on whether you're playing, whether you're a sub, whether you're, not in the squad. For me, I will always give 110% in every single training session because I want to win. Whether it's training, whether it's games, whether it's head tennis, for me, I'm just a competitive person. So yeah, they're gonna love and hate me, I think.
Are you not talking?
No?
You were talking about the conversations you had with individuals prior to signing. You're good friends with Maria Thursdottir. Did you have any conversations with her?
She dropped it a couple of times on holiday, but we didn't really speak too much. But then obviously when conversations were happening, I kind of sent her a message and I was like, look, tell me a little bit more about the club, about the people. And, you know, just so I could get it from a player's perspective in terms of coming in. And, you know, she was super complimentary, obviously, otherwise I probably wouldn't be sitting here. And just saying, you know, that the club is really pushing it and they're really ambitious and they really want to go somewhere. So kind of getting that validation from a player as well makes you feel comfortable coming into the environment. Obviously, I know her very well, so that's also another tick box when you're coming into a club that you know a couple of players who are already there. And yeah, I've got a really, really lovely relationship with Maria, so I'm excited to see her and surprise her that obviously I've joined her.
It's been a few weeks since you signed off at your time at Chelsea, another WSL title under your belt as well. If you can, how do you reflect on your time there?
It was amazing. I think when I sit and think about all the years that, you know, we went through as a team, you know, so many different players, so many players coming in, so many players going out, and the friendships that I built, like Maria, you know, we're still obviously extremely good friends today, and that started, you know, however many years ago. So that was a really lovely moment for me to think at the end of my career how many friendships I've made, not just the trophies, not just, you know, the titles or anything like that. It's who have I brought along with me on the journey and who do I still speak to, who am I still good friends with. And, you know, there's so many people who, if I was to meet them out, it would be like you've never been away from each other. So for me, that's really special. And the last season was really hard for me personally, but at the end of it, I didn't let it reflect on how amazing all my other years were and growing there as a person and as a player. And yeah, I mean, I probably couldn't put into words, you know, the memories that I do have of being there, but it's ones that obviously will stay with me for the rest of my life.
9 years is quite a spell at one club. Does it feel almost strange sitting here in a different kit?
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't feel as strange as I thought it was. So that's quite a nice feeling. And I think it was more strange yesterday doing a football medical for probably the first time in a long time, and how long that took. That was quite a process. But yeah, I mean, I think the more that I've been around the club, even though it's only been the last couple of days, you know, I've started to feel more excitement, I've started to feel more at ease with everyone, and yeah, it doesn't feel as strange as I thought it was going to.
The women's game has come such a long way since even you've started your career. Does that continued investment across every club in the country, particularly here at Brighton, excite you as a player?
Yeah, definitely. It's what so many of us fought for such a long time. And for me, looking back even, you know, 4 years ago, the differences in how much is being invested in the women's game, the sponsorship in the women's game, playing at the men's stadiums, for example, you know, those were things that, you know, it wasn't a thing even 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So to be a part of that process where I went into a facility that we didn't even have changing rooms, to obviously now coming to a club like Brighton where you have your own women's building and you have your own women's, you know, facilities, you know, it's incredible. And for me, it makes me really proud to have been part of the process of that change of going from being, you know, kind of amateurish, but being a pro, to actually feeling like a professional and feeling like you are a pro footballer and you're going to be treated that way.
You mentioned coming into Brighton and seeing the facilities. What were your initial thoughts stepping into this training ground?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's one of the nicest training grounds I think I've seen, and you can see how much people are proud of it, and that for me just screams everything that you need to know. You know, everyone is so excited for you to come and see the facilities, and they want you to come down and look at it and feel it and be a part of it. So being able to do that and come into this environment, it's really nice. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll be using the spa a couple of times, that's for sure.